kicked out of the apartment they were in, and
Right.
I needed some extra dough.
John Travolta's life reads like a sweeping film filled with soaring highs, crushing losses, and quiet moments of reinvention. From a noisy New Jersey home filled with music to the blinding lights of Hollywood, his journey has never followed a straight line. Fame came early, heartbreak came often, and resilience became his defining trait. Across decades, Travolta has faced bullying, rejection, superstardom, career collapse, public ridicule, and unimaginable personal grief. Yet he continues to stand, dance, fly, and create. The story is not just about movies or awards. It is about a man shaped by love, loss, faith, fear, and perseverance. At 71, as rumors swirl and questions linger, Travolta's life reminds us that survival itself can be the greatest performance of all. A musical childhood that sparked a dream. John Travolta grew up in a modest New Jersey household where money was tight but creativity overflowed. As the youngest of 6 children, he often watched from the sidelines while his mother Helen rehearsed songs and scenes from classic musicals in their living room. Those moments planted something powerful inside him. Music became comfort, escape, and identity. While his father carried financial stress through long days at a tire shop, Helen filled the home with art and belief. John absorbed every note and gesture, mimicking performances before he fully understood what acting meant. Even as a child, the stage felt like home. That early exposure did more than entertain him. It gave him purpose. In a small house full of noise and dreams, Travolta learned that imagination could turn hardship into hope. Those formative years shaped not only his career, but also the emotional core he would carry into every role he played. Bullying, insecurity, and finding power on stage school was not kind to John Travolta. He was teased relentlessly for his stutter, his slight frame, and his gentle voice. Classmates made him feel invisible and small, pushing him inward. Yet inside that pain, performance became his refuge. At home, he turned embarrassment into comedy, acting out skits for his siblings. On stage, his fears dissolved. When he performed, people listened. His mother recognized that acting was not just a hobby, but a lifeline. She encouraged him to pursue theater as a way to channel hurt into strength. Slowly, the boy who once wanted to disappear discovered that his sensitivity was not weakness. It was fuel. Each performance gave him control over how he was seen. Applause replaced mockery. Confidence replaced shame. What once wounded him became the source of his power, laying the emotional foundation for a career built on vulnerability and connection. Leaving home and surviving New York. At a young age, Travolta made a risky decision that defined his future. He left high school behind and moved to New York City with little more than determination. Life there was brutal. He slept in cheap YMCA rooms, worked exhausting jobs, and scraped by day to day. Yet he never stopped learning. He took free acting classes whenever he could, studied voice control, and slowly overcame his stutter. Mentors warned him that talent alone would not protect him, and he listened. Each rejection hardened his resolve. When shows closed early and money vanished, he slept on benches and walked the streets searching for auditions. New York taught him survival. It stripped away illusion and replaced it with discipline. Those years were lonely and unforgiving, but they gave Travolta resilience. He learned that belief in oneself must exist long before the world offers validation. Early breaks and the taste of uncertainty. Travolta's first paid stage roles brought hope but also harsh lessons. Small theater productions and touring shows gave him experience. Yet success remained fragile. One moment he was earning steady pay, the next he was jobless. A failed production left him broke and homeless, reminding him how quickly opportunity could disappear. Still, each role sharpened his instincts. He observed seasoned performers, learned timing, and built confidence. Broadway success finally arrived and opened doors to commercials and television. For the first time, stability felt possible, but even then, rejection followed closely. Losing roles stung deeply and forced him to confront his limitations. Instead of retreating, he sought better training and dug deeper emotionally. These early years taught him that progress in the entertainment world is never guaranteed. Every step forward requires adaptability, humility, and relentless effort. Grease, stardom, and personal loss. Grease elevated Travolta from star to legend. His Danny Zuko was confident, playful, and unforgettable. The film's joy contrasted sharply with his private pain. During production, he learned that his mother was gravely ill. He carried that sorrow quietly, pouring unspoken grief into his performance. The movie's success was staggering, breaking box office records and cementing his status as Hollywood's highest-paid actor. Yet fame could not shield him from loss. Helen's death left a permanent mark on his heart. Even at the height of success, Travolta learned that applause does not silence grief. That duality, joy on screen and sorrow off it, deepened his emotional range and maturity as an artist. Career risks, missed chances, and decline. After dominating the late 70s, Travolta faced difficult choices. He turned down iconic roles out of fear of repetition or personal hesitation. Some decisions haunted him. As trends shifted, his box office power faded. Films underperformed, critics turned harsh, and Hollywood interest cooled. Financial disputes and management issues revealed how unprepared he had been for sudden wealth. By the mid-80s, his career teetered on collapse. Yet even in decline, he kept working, searching for meaning beyond fame. These years humbled him deeply. They taught him that stardom is temporary and reinvention is essential. The fall was painful, but it cleared space for growth and self-awareness that would later save his career. Love, family, and quiet stability meeting. Kelly Preston became a turning point that reshaped John Travolta's inner world. At a time when his career felt uncertain and Hollywood's attention was fading, Kelly brought steadiness and warmth. Their bond offered him a safe place away from pressure, fame, and constant judgment. Together they built a family rooted in shared beliefs, mutual respect, and emotional support. Travolta began choosing projects more carefully, leaning towards stories that reflected tenderness, healing, and connection rather than spectacle. Marriage and fatherhood changed how he defined success. It was no longer about headlines, box office numbers, or public approval. It was about being present, showing up, and protecting what mattered most. Even when his career rose and fell, home remained constant. Love became his anchor, and family gave his life meaning beyond performance. For the first time, fulfillment came not from applause, but from quiet moments of belonging, reinvention, through Pulp Fiction and beyond. When many believed John Travolta's best years were behind him, he shocked the industry with a fearless comeback. Pulp Fiction reintroduced him not as a nostalgic star, but as a bold, unpredictable actor willing to take risks. His performance carried edge, vulnerability, and dark humor, reminding audiences of his depth. The role restored credibility and reignited creative momentum. What followed was not desperation, but confidence. Travolta no longer chased trends or tried to recreate past glory. Instead, he chose roles that intrigued him, roles shaped by experience rather than ambition. This phase of his career proved that reinvention is possible at any stage. Failure did not erase his talent, and setbacks did not define his worth. Persistence did. By embracing change instead of fearing it, Travolta turned reinvention into his greatest strength and reminded Hollywood that true longevity comes from courage and self-belief. Tragedy, survival, and public grief. The loss of his son Jet was a devastating blow that no amount of fame could soften. The tragedy unfolded under public scrutiny, forcing John Travolta to grieve while the world watched. Legal battles, rumors, and media attention only deepened the pain. Just as he began to heal, another heartbreak followed with the death of Kelly Preston. Losing his partner reopened wounds that never truly closed. Yet through overwhelming sorrow, Travolta chose to keep going. He honored their memory through charity, compassion, and unwavering devotion to his children. Grief reshaped him profoundly. It quieted his voice, softened his presence, and deepened his empathy. Pain did not break him, but it changed him. Survival became an act of love. In continuing to live fully, he showed that strength does not mean avoiding sorrow, but carrying it with grace and purpose, endurance, legacy, and still moving forward. In his 70s, John Travolta stands as a symbol of endurance rather than spectacle. Despite rumors, hoaxes, and decades of scrutiny, he remains active, creative, and quietly resilient. He continues acting, mentoring younger performers, and flying aircraft for humanitarian causes. Each public appearance carries the weight of loss, survival, and hard-earned wisdom. His life does not fit neatly into a success story or a tragedy. It is deeply human, marked by mistakes, courage, love, and persistence. Travolta's legacy is not only defined by iconic roles or unforgettable dances, but by his refusal to disappear when life demanded everything from him. He keeps moving forward step by step, grounded in experience and resilience. In that motion, his story continues to unfold, reminding us that endurance itself can be a powerful and lasting form of legacy.